up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. All right, hopefully it's better than mine, but mine's isn't too bad. My name is Jonathan. Welcome to Sunday Funday Q&A. I'm your host. As you know me, I also go by KleinGuy Jon on this channel. If it's your first time being here, welcome. If you're wondering what it is I do electrical. I'm an electrician by trade in the great city of New York, within the 5 boroughs. Live here in New Dorp, Staten Island, on the East Coast in the United States. It's 12:01 p.m. Yes, again, I'm starting at 12:01 because obviously this is now an hour session Q&A, and after this, I'm heading out. I'm going out with with some family, and gonna have a good time for the rest of this end of this weekend. So, we're gonna talk about a few things. Oh, well, I forgot about my mic. Oops. uh, First off, let me say, Amos Cardoza, thank you so much. He says, everyone, please hit that like button, and thank you. I appreciate that, Amos. And also, Me Dibbles here. Hello from the far side of the pond. He says, "What's up, Me Dibble? What's up, Dibs? What's going on, buddy? How's your week? Hope it's doing well. Hope everybody's week is doing well. We're gonna come into some subjects as you see on the title. In this episode, we're gonna be talking about cleaning up your workspace. And those of you who are apprentices, this goes especially for you apprentices, helpers, apprentices, and junior mechanics, and even possibly mechanics as well. Oh, look at that! A pop-up just showed up. Okay, man, there was. Oh, okay. Also, we're gonna also be talking about help you out get your SST card, which is very important here in New York City. All right. So don't go anywhere. You want to stick around for that. If you need some information, if you're a helper and apprentice and trying to get those certifications, you're in the right place. I help you out. If your boss can't help you pay it, but you got some money you can spend, invest in yourself. Get yourself educated, get yourself certified, because the more you know, the better the money is, right? Or the more you learn, the more you earn. All right. So before we can get into that, after that, we'll take some questions. We'll get some answers. If it's not for me, people in the chat. But before I get started, got to run the intro. All right, we're back. Dave says, I just cleaned up my workspace. I'm not saying it was a mess, but it took 4 days. Hey, if it took you 4 days, it's not a mess. You don't want to go crazy, tire yourself out. You want to take your time? It's on your own time. Why not, right? So let's get started with the subject, the topic of the day here. All right. Let me just adjust a few things. There's my camera here. All right. Bear with me, guys, because boom, there you go. That's better. That's muchalada. By the way, if you are trying to get my attention, please do not hesitate. But you need to type in at KleinGuy Jon, just like that. My name will pop up, highlight in orange. That way, my eye could just focus on KleinGuy Jon and what you have to say and what questions you have. All right. Like I said, it's your first time being here, and you're trying to get info. You're an apprentice. You're a helper. You're trying to get started. This is perfect. Sit here. You can sit around, watch, listen, read what others are saying, and get some information, advice. It's a good place. I've been an electrician for now about 8 years. Here in New York City, I first started out at HVAC for 3.5 years. Switch trades. Some of you probably think, why switch trades? I did an explanation of that in my last live stream. So, go check out last week's episode. B Dibble says, at KleinGuy Jon, but mine workspace was shed/workshop/dumping zone. Give me 1 second. I'll send out the RFQ as soon as I can for this. Oh, by the way, let me just do this really, really quick, if I can. Before we get really into the nitty gritty of it, if you are looking for an electrical contractor to do small jobs or big jobs, contact Leader Electric. All right, Leader Electric. We're here in the heart of Manhattan. We do service work. We have service department. We have service techs come in. You can call the number service for 212-665-0600. And if you have a larger job, you have a renovation, we do renovations, commercial, residential, give us a call for contracts at 212-665-0606. We're located in the heart of Manhattan, in Midtown. You can also contact us by contact@leaderelectric.net and check out the website at www.leaderelectric.net. For all your electrical needs, contact Leader Electric. And now we can get started. So, cleaning up after tasks and installations. Very important, because showing that you can clean up after yourself on a job, whether if it's in a residential home, someone's apartment, you're in a commercial building, commercial office, or basically on a construction site where there's construction all over, all different trades. It's so important to clean up after yourself after you finish a task. For instance, whenever I'm on a construction site, right, and I'm tasked to do receptacle outlets, I got to do like 20 on one floor, or in a small area or a commercial office space. I get what I need. I have my tools. I'm ready to go. I start knocking out all these outlets. I wire them up. I make sure everything's properly connected, terminated mechanically and electrically. And then afterwards, after stripping, cutting, and basically just leaving a mess. You can't just leave a mess, but what I do is I collect everything. Either I put a cardboard box underneath where I'm working, or a piece of flat cardboard. Drop everything there. Stripped wires, plastic, in the stripped cable, or in the jacket. You want to pick up after yourself and not leave any sign of where you were working. Basically, you want to be a ghost, okay? So this goes to all you helpers and apprentices, as well as your junior mechanics. And if you're a mechanic and you're maybe you're the type that's been hearing a lot about how you've been working, how messy you are, this is the right place you should be listening. All right. Always make sure you set yourself up when you're working, and make sure you clean up after yourself. And the reason why is that, you don't want to leave a mess. Even if there is laborers on site, sometimes there aren't a lot of laborers. There could be like 2-3 laborers. The max I've ever seen on a job site I've been on were maybe a max of 4 laborers on a huge job site. And sometimes the laborers aren't there to really be behind you and clean up after you. And certain job sites, you even have the general contractor, like the entire company, the entire GC company there on site, their office on site, the owners, the guys from payroll, everyone, the super site safety officer or whoever. You're going to be dictated on how well you do your work, especially after cleaning up after yourself, because you don't want to leave a big mess, pile of wires or wood around for other people to walk by and trip over and become a hazard, especially if it's finished work. Okay, when you're doing new construction and you're on an area where it's about to be, it's like it's finished. You got new like wooden floors or tile floors or carpeting, and you're in there doing punch list stuff, like you're doing outlets, you're putting in switches, you're leaving stripped, stripped insulated insulation from wires that you stripped back and made your terminations on, or you leave like the steel jacket, or if you're in like Long Island or New Jersey, you leave like your Romex jacket, the non-metallic sheath, on the floor. I work with guys who do that, and they just keep moving on, moving on, moving on, and then they'll just forget about cleaning up after themselves. And what happened is the site super will come and say, "Why is there a mess?" And then there's arguments with, "Oh, well, that's what we have laborers for." Well, 80% of the time the laborers aren't there. They're not always behind your back. You could be working by yourself. You know, make a mess, leave, and then the someone or someone else besides the super could possibly trip over a steel jacket, or trip over some wire you left on the floor, don't care about. It becomes a safety hazard. So that's why you got the GC super coming in and saying, well, you guys left a mess here. And then I've seen fights where, oh, well, that's why you have your laborers. Well, for one, true, but like I said, clean up after yourself. Or what you could do, another way, is if you know you have laborers but you don't see any around, find a broom or take your trash and just scoop it to a corner of that space. You want to keep all your trash in one area in the construction site where even the laborers can come in and say, "There's the trash. I'm going to pick it up." They could just pick it all up in one shot. That way it's out of everyone's way, out of anyone, or out of sight of anyone's like walking by, tripping over. If you put it in one corner of that space, you make it so much easier for everyone else to work around. Okay. Now, if that's not the case and the super doesn't want you leaving trash in a corner of a room for his guys, like his laborers, pick up, carry like a little plastic bag. It doesn't matter if it's like from a corner store deli or just a little plastic bag where you kept your lunch and stuff. Scoop it up, put it in there, carry it with you, and just like work and clean as you go. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. It also makes the electrician or the professional tradesman look so much better. They will look at you and say, "Wow, this guy is a pro. Like this guy is really, he's a professional. He cleans up after himself. He doesn't leave any scuff marks, doesn't leave trash around when he's working." All right, so and you're also making the company look good as well. You're making your boss look good. That way, if you do that, you're more likely to get more, your company or yourself could get more jobs from that general contractor. Okay, they're going to trust you on the jobs that you're on with them. So always remember that. It's always good to do that. Me Dibble says, "I think I'm out of your work area," says Me Dibble. Jose CFC, my brother, what's good? What's good, Jose? How you doing, bro? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, that's to all you junior mechanics and your helpers, apprentices, and mechanics. Always remember, just clean up after yourself. It's really important to do that. It makes a site a better place to work, less of a hazard, tripping hazard. It just makes things go so much smoother, and that way you don't hear too many complaints or arguments. You'll hear good things. You'll most likely hear positive things like, "Wow, you guys are professional." Your foreman may hear and say, "Hey, one of your guys is cleaning up as he's working. I like that. Keep up the good work." So always keep that in mind. Bear that in mind. All right. Especially when it comes down to residential. Now, since we got the commercial part out of the way, we want to focus now on the guys who do like residential, because I know there's also a lot of electricians who prefer doing residential work, but there's more commercial guys. But for the residential guys, the same thing. For those of you who are helpers, apprentices, junior mechanics, and mechanics, listen carefully. You residential guys, clean up after yourselves. Take a small little shop vac or a small little car vacuum cleaner with you. If there's like dust, because there's a lot of finished work in the house, you got to cut through sheetrock or plaster. any of that. You want to clean up after yourselves. It's very important. The homeowner does not like to see that you do work. Sure, your outlet, your switch looks great. You've done everything up to code. It's quality work. But if you leave a mess for the client to clean up, the homeowner to clean up, that becomes a little bit of an issue. They see that, hey, it doesn't matter if you do good work. They want to also see cleanliness. Are you like the type that cleans up after yourself? They're paying you to do good quality work. And I've seen where, I mean, I've been in people's homes, like high rise residential, or residential homes, where I did service calls and did switch, or I had to cut open a drywall or into a plaster and put in a switch box or device box, and make a mess all over. But usually I clean up. I'll vacuum. Sometimes you'll come across a customer when you're cutting, and you have your vacuum in hand, but sometimes the customer will just insist, like, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll clean it up." Listen, don't you know? Just offer to clean after yourself. Let them know that, yeah, I have something. I'll clean it up. Don't worry. It makes it saves you guys. It saves time, and it makes you look more professional. It lets you are letting the customer know, I'm a professional tradesman. I'm gonna do quality work, and I'm gonna clean up after myself, so that you don't have to. Okay. I work with guys where, from other companies, where they just leave a mess and don't care. Um, Sometimes they'll have the customer come up to them, and say, "Hey, don't worry, I'll clean it up," and then, yeah, the customer will clean up, or sometimes the customer will forget. The guy would leave after he's done, everything's all paid for, and the customer will later complain and say, "Hey, your guy didn't clean up. He left a mess on my walls and this and that." It happens. You'll have a customer say one thing and then say another to your boss or to the office. Keep always bear that in mind when when it comes to service calls. You want to keep a clean workspace. Yeah, clean up after yourself. Um, Also bear, with that also, make sure that before you even get started, and I know I've said this in my previous live stream, where I spoke about how um, homeowners and clients, any client in commercial or residential, please, like, if you are aware that there's an electrician coming and he's going to do work on some outlets or switches, or he has to go into the electrical room, the electrical closet, to the panel, make sure the electrical closet is clear of any obstruction. Electrical closets, or electrical closets general, are not meant for storage, not to put your paperwork or your boxes or your furniture in. Um, it's understandable in residential if you have your panel, Edison fuse panel, in or electrical panel in a pantry, but don't wait for us to move it all. We're there to, like, we make an estimated time, what time we come in to do it. The second we set foot, let me just say this: the second we set foot on the property is when we're on the clock. Okay, so whenever we're on site on your property, or before we even get on your property, for instance, let me just push it back a little bit. Um, Make sure you clear out whatever obstacles are in our way. If we're going to do a couple of outlets, we need to shut the power off. So you need to go to the electrical room or distribution panel and clear everything out of the way. Get all what you, it doesn't matter if it's like your laundry or your golfing equipment. Get it out of there. We need to, like, do our job. We're not movers. We're not professional movers. We're electricians. We don't want to be. We don't want to be responsible for property damage, especially personal items that will be damaged. So bear that in mind. For those of you who are DIYers or homeowners or business owners, like in a commercial office building, um, bear in mind that when you call for, like, either HVAC tech or electrician, or any tradesman that has to work either in an electrical room or certain areas where they need it cleared off, clear it out for them. They need space to work, you know. Um, Also, if you guys are on the road, you guys are road warriors going to, service call after service call, and make sure every service call you take, you call your office and say, hey, let the customer know I'm coming. Can you let them know to clear out this the electrical room or the closet or in the basement? If there's anything out the way, to have to move it out the way, and so I can get there and work. Go in, do what I gotta do, and get out. You know, it's always, you guys got to bear in mind. Don't I don't like to assume the customer is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get there and everything's out of my way. Um, Sometimes I'm in people's homes and their panels like right in the corridor and there's nothing in the way really, which is a good thing because then you don't have to move anything. It's just right there. Um, just getting to the device like an outlet or a switch you know, or behind a TV. A lot of customers tend to like, oh yeah, I want a new outlet for the TV, but they'll leave when you get there. The TV is not even off the wall or out of the way; it's just sitting there, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, just move the TV. I tell them I'm not. Well, listen, you got to move it. I tell them I'm sorry, but you have to move your TV. I don't want to be responsible if something happens. If it tips over, I knock into it, something. You know, you got to understand that's how we are as tradesmen. We do not want to be responsible for damaged items or damaged property. Okay, so if you homeowners or business owners out there, keep in mind we need to work. You got to move this stuff out the way. You got to move all your whatever's in the way. We got to where you want us to work, move it out the way. Okay. It's understandable if it's like, hey, I trace this circuit to this outlet, and something doesn't seem right. I'm gonna have to go over here and work now. That's one thing. We'll ask you nicely, and if you can move, and we can get to that device or whatever. But if you guys are doing service calls, like I said, never assume the customer or the client is going to move stuff out of the closet where the electrical panel is, or where they're, where the outlet you need to work in the living room or bedroom. Call your office, tell your service department manager, say, hey, let the customer know I'm on my way. Have them move whatever furniture or any obstacles that are in my way that I need to work in, especially in the basement or where the electrical panel is. Have them move anything that could be in my way or in their way that could be moved out the way for me to work. Let them know. Like, it makes no sense for me to come to your home and move stuff, because now you're thinking, the customer is thinking, oh, he can just do an outlet. He could do this outlet in 30 to 1 hour, for instance, or two outlets, 30 minutes to an hour, and then assume that when I get there, I'm going to just do it right away. But you have all this stuff in the panel, like stacked boxes and stuff. What happens then? Well, I got to move it. And if you don't want to move it, I got to move it. And that's more time. It doesn't, like, a lot of customers, I even like ran by a couple, and they would think that, at times I'll show up, I have to move boxes out of the closet to get to the panel. And then when I give them a price, and when we bill them at the end, they freak out because how big the bill is. Like, oh, it's $200, $300. Well, yeah, there's a reason for that. One, I had to move furniture and stuff out of the way to get to a panel and to the device. They'll complain like, well, I was told this was going to take this long. Well, no, because that's your fault for not moving wherever I had to work. You were supposed to move it before I get there. Then maybe it would have been that price. Now I have to take the time to move your stuff because you refused to move it. Or you told me, well, yeah, you can move it. I've had customers who would argue with me about that. And I would personally tell them, listen, I'm not a mover. That's not my job. My job is to go in, do a service, and get out. Make you satisfied and happy, for you to pay, and I leave. I'm not a mover. I don't move furniture around. So, we had customers in the past like that. But if you do come across a customer like that, call your office, let them know. Let them know you don't want to be responsible. The officer will call the customer, the client, and basically they're going to have to hash it out somehow. I get a lot of, we used to get a lot of clients that say they don't want to move their own stuff. They want us to move it. It's always an excuse. Oh, well, I'm doing this right now. I don't have time. I'm like, listen, you called us, make the time. It, that's just, it is what it is. So always remember, homeowners or business owners, please, an electrician's coming over, a tradesman coming over, and they got to work in that area, clear it out before we get there because we need to set up and do our work. Okay? Don't make it difficult because then what makes it even more difficult is the bill that you're going to get. Just saying. All right? Okay. So, wow. 26 minutes in on that subject. Oh, man. So, let's see here. Next topic we're going to discuss about site safety training. Okay. Now, I know I talk about this almost all the time when I'm on the channel, but I think it's still important getting your OSHA 30, getting your site safety training certifications. For those so I'm going to get into it now. For those of you, apprentices, helpers, junior mechanics, maybe mechanics, you're still working. I don't know, like you're working and you're not really, you don't really care about safety. Well, guess what? If you are living in the New York City, this is for you guys who watch, live here in New York City, within the 5 boroughs. You're required to have a minimum of 40 hours site safety training. If you are a foreman, a project manager, a site super, or a safety coordinator, you need to have 60 hours of site safety training. Okay? So, I'm going to show you real quick. Here we go. OSHA Education Center. Okay? Within the New York, this is for you guys who live in New York City, or if you are living in one of the major cities in the United States and you're required to have the same minimum requirements as we do as well, great. Stay on board. Watch, stay on. You'll get some good info on here. This will benefit you. So you go to OSHAeducationcenter.com. You have 10-hour training, 30-hour training, SST, HAZWOPER. Call it HAZWOPER because that's just how it's spelled. I go to SST. You click on SST. Now, this is for New York City. So, New York City Site Safety Training, SST for Local Law 196. It's this certification is DOB approved, so Department of Buildings approved. 100% online courses for workers and supervisors. And you can earn your SST card online as well. So, you can, if you're a worker, you just need 40 hours. You click on SST for workers. If you're a foreman or a supervisor or a project manager, SST for supervisors. So let's click on workers, right? You go to workers. For new entrants, you click here. For current workers, if any of you have OSHA 30, great. You just put down for current workers. Oh, hello, hold on. Hello, are you looking to meet your SST requirements? Not right now. Yeah, close. So here it is, right? You click on current workers. If you're currently working, you have your OSHA 30, but you need more hours. The only two you will actually need to get to accomplish 40 hours, if you currently have an OSHA 30 card, is your 8-hour fall prevention, which is 225 for this course, and the 2-hour drug and alcohol awareness. Okay, that's all you'll need. It's $50 for the alcohol awareness. Now, you got an option. You can click on either one. You don't have to click on all, but if you click on one, you want to take one at a time. You can check out. The only problem is you'll have to have 2 separate passwords when you're on this site for security issues. Security reasons. Sorry, But they do have a special offer, 20% off entire bundle. So let's see. You go click on these. So you get the SST worker card, which is $50. Is an official DOB approved SST card. 8-hour fall prevention and 2-hour drug and alcohol awareness. Oops, wait, go back. My bad. Oh, okay, I did it. You click on checkout, and this is the total, $259. So the 20% discount, they take off the subtotal is $325, but they take off $66. So you're paying $259. Okay. You just got to register on their website, use your username and password to check out, put in all your information here, and it will take you to a separate window where you get to log in separately with a different password and take the courses. Okay. If you want to do one at a time and you can't afford $225, but you want to, like, maybe, okay, I got my OSHA 30, I can't really spend $225. Let's say you're a helper or an apprentice. You got your OSHA 30 because your boss, or maybe you worked at a previous company and your boss sent you out for OSHA 30 course for free. Maybe you got fired or maybe you got laid off and you're working for another company, but they can't afford to send their guys to courses, so you have to pay for your own. So yeah, okay, invest in yourself. Fine. Or if they tell you, hey, take the course online, we'll reimburse you, do that. That's even better because you'll get your money back in your next paycheck or so. So if you are looking to save a little money, a little cash, start off with the $50 2-hour drug and alcohol, and you will get, well, basically you'll have to pay the $50. You won't get the discount. The discount is just when you get the entire bundle. Entire bundle, 20% off. Or maybe you want to, okay, let me get the hard part out the way. Let's say the 8-hour prevention, but I'll pay the $225. Pay the $225. You're still going to pay $225, nothing less. You won't get the discount unless you buy the entire bundle, like previously. Now, so that take care of that. You can switch either or. Now, if you don't have an OSHA 30, but you have an OSHA 10, you live in New York City, getting an OSHA 30, if you have an OSHA 10 and you say, well, easy, I don't have to take those courses, I can just take an OSHA 30 and I have my 40 hours. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Understand something. OSHA 10, when you get your OSHA 30, let's say you don't have an OSHA 10, you go for your OSHA 30. The OSHA 10 is included within the OSHA 30, okay? So basically, if you get your OSHA 10 and you go for your OSHA 30, you're basically going to just get an extra 20 hours of OSHA training. You know, that's it. You're just getting an extra 20 hours. You still need to get 10 more hours of your site safety training, and that's what's required. Okay. And that's it. That's just how it works. Now, for supervisors, listen up. If you're a supervisor, you're about to become, you've just been hired as a foreman and you only got your 40 hours, you got to work on getting your 60 to 62 hour supervisor course. So the SST supervisor card course list is complete 62 hours of DOB approved online safety training, site safety training to earn your SST supervisor card. Select your required SST course and electives below. So you basically have to take a 30-hour outreach and construction, or if you have your 30-hour or you have your 40-hour, okay, you don't need to take the fall prevention. If you currently have your 40-hour SST, you don't need to take the 2-hour drug alcohol, so you can cut that off. So you don't need your 30, you don't need the 8-hour, and you don't need a 2-hour. So all you need to do is get your site safety 8-hour site safety manager refresher chapter 33, which is $225, your 4-hour support scaffold user and refresher course is $125. You got 2-hour toolbox talks, site safety plan, pre-task safety meetings. You click on that. Then you got to click on your electives. And I know look, $39.95 for your electives. Then you have your SST special electives. You got to get those as well, right? So that adds up right there, your 62 hours. Okay? That adds up to your 62 hours. And that's only if you have when you select these selected courses, but you don't need 2 hour, you don't need your 2 hour alcohol awareness, you don't need an 8 hour fall prevention, or you don't need your 30 hour OSHA 30 outreach construction training, because you have those already. You can just apply for the other courses to add in those hours. Okay, so let's go to checkout. Let's see, did they offer the okay, then it comes with they advise you to purchase also the card, which is an extra 50. And that comes up to $869.45. You don't get a discount, which that bites. I'm pretty sure they have to have a discount. Maybe you have to buy the complete bundle to get the discount. Let's see. No, they don't. So it's only required for the 40 hour, not the 62 hour. Oh, that bites. But hey, is what it is, right? So with all these hours, these all add up to $869.45. Now, you don't have to. I mean, if you can't afford it, or your boss can't afford it, whatever, you don't have to. You can take one course at a time, or if you're, or there's a job coming up, or or maybe you want to start being a foreman. You're a mechanic, and now you want to be a foreman. You want to be ahead of the game. Get yourself take these courses, man. Improve yourself. Make up the ante a little bit. Make yourself more valuable in the company. So that's that. So if you do not have any of these requirement courses that requires you to be on the job site, you have to take all these courses. I mean, look, I hear guys who worked back then without OSHA, they've been working without OSHA and they've been fine, haven't gone to an incident. Well, listen, they haven't been in an incident where someone got hurt. It doesn't matter anymore now. All right? So here's what happens if you don't have the necessary requirements. They'll turn you, the GC will tell you, go home, basically. Because the moment you step into a construction site, you're required to show proof of your OSHA 30 or your SST card. If you only have an OSHA 30 and you don't have your other SSTs, your SSTs, they're not gonna let you through. Okay? They're not gonna let you buy. They're just gonna tell you go home. I mean, it is what it is until you come back with those certifications. All right. So don't try to skate an 8. Don't try to have someone take it for you. If someone takes it for you and you show up on the job site and sure you got all the qualifications now because you had someone else take it for you under your name, under your guise, then something happens on the job site. Let's say you're running the job site, but you don't conduct your OSHA talks, your OSHA meetings, your toolbox talks. You don't construct your daily huddle reports, your evaluation reports, hazard or pre-hazard reports and stuff like that. You don't hand those into the GC. They're gonna be awfully suspicious of you. They're gonna talk to your boss and say, hey, he hasn't handed in his evaluations on the job site. He hasn't handed in his toolbox talks, his OSHA meetings. He hasn't handed his daily huddles. What's going on with your guy? Your boss will start calling you and asking you questions. And the moment you tell him, wow, I didn't know I had to do that, that's when you screw up, and that's when he's going to realize, or the moment your project manager shows up, works beside you, and sees that you don't know how to fill these forms out and never done these before, he's going to know that you had someone take your course for you. Okay? He's going to know you did not take the course. You cheated your way through to get yourself on the job and get paid. And I know it's hard. I understand you're not the type that wants to go in the classroom and take a test and stuff, or sit in the computer and for all these long hours. You don't have to. The reason why they do it online is for for you to save time. You know, um, at any point you can save in between the course, and then when you get to the end of it, you take the test at the end, and you pass it. You get your certification for that course, and then the next one, and then the next one. Don't don't have someone do it for you, and then you're not knowledgeable on the job site about site safety, because people they're gonna call you out, and you can get into big trouble for that. They're gonna kick you off the job site. They're gonna know that you're still incompetent in site safety. So make sure you're taking these courses and you know what you're supposed to do on the site. You know the procedures. You know everything that you need to do that's required of you. Okay. Um, yeah. So don't try to cheat yourself into it. Okay. So let me get back to the screen here. Yeah, let's get back to the screen. So you can register today. You can register tomorrow. Now understand this: the March 1st, 2021 SST deadline has passed. New York City construction workers must now have a 40-hour SST card. That's the minimum. Okay. So if you're a worker, you can get your SST, 40 hours, no problem. Just don't think that, if you're a helper or an apprentice and you got 10-hour OSHA, you're like, oh yeah, I can just get the 30. No, that's the 30-hour doesn't mean that you now have 40 hours. You're just getting yourself an extra 20 hours to get that 30. You have to take your 2-hour drug and alcohol awareness course and your 8-hour fall prevention. Then you have your 40 hours. All right. So yeah, that's about it. So take the information, do whatever you want with it. But I advise you, if you don't have these qualifications, these certificates, even if you're in like the service department, all you do is service call, get it anyway. You never know. You never know that your job could be short on manpower and they need you to be on a construction site. What if that happens and you don't have your SST? Then you can't work. What if they're like service department's going slow, so they're gonna like put you on a construction job on projects. It's always good to have these SST cards, because of that. At one point when I was getting my card, um, whoa, what happened? Okay. At one point when I was working on getting my SST, I mean my OSHA 30 and then my SST, I was just into the service department for a little while, you know, because I told them, hey, I'm working on getting my OSHA. I'm working on my 40 hours SST course. So what did they do? They stuck me on service calls, which I didn't mind as long as I was working and I was taking the course online on my phone too. I mean, you can do it on your phone now as well. If you don't have a computer or laptop, that makes no excuse that you can't do it on your phone. Now, for you old school guys who aren't really tech savvy, have someone who is. Talk to your apprentice. Maybe he has his SST. Maybe he's a little tech savvy. The younger generation, go to them. Don't be embarrassed. Ask. They'll help you out, Um, we're not here to make fun of how old you are and what you don't know about modern day technology. Just ask. Even if you don't know, just ask. Don't be embarrassed. The problem with, you know, even with the old school electricians, they're so prideful because they know it all. Obviously they do. But when it comes to technology, they don't. So for you old school guys, I pay a lot of respect for you guys. Really, I do. But if you don't understand technology today, ask a younger generation. Don't be embarrassed. It's okay. I've had guys, older gentlemen in the company, say, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that on the phone? I don't understand how do you do this on the phone. Even my old man, he will tell me, oh, can you show me how to do this? He'll show you, show him, but don't be embarrassed to ask. We got to work together no matter what. So, all right, we got 15 minutes left. Hey, baby.
Hi. Your mom's on her way.
Oh, okay.
So she'll be here soon.
All right.
I don't know if you want to come with us, so.
Well, I'll see, because I might have some stuff I have to take care of, get ready for tomorrow.
Huh?
I have some stuff to take care of ready for tomorrow,
All right.
Where are you guys going?
The mall.
Mall? Okay. Well, we'll see. Cause
You don't have to
little
go, like I
swamp.
said.
Okay. So yeah, I think that about sums it up. Um, guys. I hope that the information was helpful, and you guys found it very a little bit educational. Um, I know that for a fact, actually, some you helpers or apprentices are just sitting back and just laughing at me and saying, "The heck does he know?" Um, I find that the newer generation of electricians coming in either not educated enough in the trade or coming out of trade school. Now, I know I'm going back to the whole apprentice helper expectation thing, and I know that I did a video, we did that last live stream as well. Um, I just find I need to really push the I wouldn't say narrative. I would say just push the conversation more of that, because when I'm in construction, I'm on a construction site, and I see new guys coming in, like green guys, like don't know squat, don't know anything about electrical, but they have this know it all um mentality, like they know everything because they went to school, or they graduated high school, went to college for like 1 or 2 years, and then they just jumped into the trade because college didn't work out, or they didn't want to go to college, and they just think they know it all because they're from high school and they're smarter than everyone else. There's a saying that I remember when I was an apprentice, and I was a little, a smart ass when I first started. And what I was told by my foreman was, what did he say? He said something about, I remember we're in the elevator, we're talking, we're talking about something, and what he said didn't make sense, and I kind of I kind of said something and said at the end, oh, it's all common sense or whatever, and he kind of corrected me on something. I can't remember what it was. It was like my first year in electrical trade, and he told me, you're for a really smart guy, you're really stupid.
He said that to you?
Yeah, you did. I remember. It was hilarious. And I actually I actually laughed at it too. But what he said, and not for nothing, I didn't take it like the wrong way. What he spoke was truth. What he spoke was truth. And he was like, for a real smart kid, you're really stupid. And what he meant by that was that it was like I wasn't street smart, is what he was trying to say in his own way. And basically he was just telling me, like, you know nothing of this business as yet. Okay, you're just starting out. He says, my advice, don't try to be a smartass.
Well, that's true.
Exactly. Don't try to be a smartass unless you really know this shit. I'm sorry if I'm using language. So that's what he told me word for word. I remember that. And I stuck with that. And from there on, like that, and that was the first time I think I remember being like, I said like a really smart ass remark. That was like the first and only time when I first started. And from there on, I would just continue just listening, and doing. And as I got more experienced, I was trusted more to do things. I got paid more, you know. Um, but it's not, and I would see new guys even coming out from trade school, or just coming from the street and learning the trade. And I would watch how they work, and I would listen to them. I read their body language. I listen, how they spoke, their mannerisms, and some of them were just like know-it-alls. And as a first year apprentice, I was getting annoyed with it. I was shut up. I was getting annoyed with it, but I wouldn't say anything. So I would see them argue with the foreman, argue with the mechanics, and they say, "Well, I'm not getting compensated enough to do this. I'm not getting paid enough to do that," and it just got so ugly, real ugly. Hey, Conan man, Amos, how you doing, my friend? How you doing over there across the pond? He's referring to me Dibble. So for you helpers and apprentices out there, just do us all a favor. And I'm gonna be blunt about this. Just shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing smart. You're gonna look stupid in front of your foreman, your journeyman, or mechanic. But technically, mechanic doesn't really have to babysit you. They're not there to babysit. They're there to show you how the job is done, how to teach you. But they're not there to babysit you. They're not there to improve your life. Foreman or journeyman, if you work under a really good foreman who wants to teach you how to read prints, how to correctly do good quality work, my advice to you is stick with that foreman. If it's a mechanic you're working under who's doing this, who has even the qualities of a foreman, I would stick with that mechanic and work with them. Is John being good so we can say Johnny be good? Come on, man, you're funny. Um, but yeah, just shut up, listen, watch, learn, and you'll learn something. And when you get really good at it, when you start getting good at like doing whatever type of work, light fixtures, pulling wire, you know, um, uh, you know, connecting devices, terminations. If the mechanic or foreman will start seeing like, wow, this guy, he's really putting his all. He's putting, he's really dedicated. I want him on my jobs. They're gonna want you on the job. So don't be a smartass. Don't, and especially guys from the street. Ah, man. Listen. There are times where, you're gonna be on a job and there's, you know, racism is also one factor in the trade too, because there are a lot of companies, not a lot, but some companies that don't don't like to be diverse. They don't want certain people working in their business, their line of work, which is messed up. And I've seen it. I worked for a company that was like that, and I left. And actually, I worked for two companies that was like that. I got laid off or I left, and I left. So, um, because racism isn't tolerated on the job sites, and yeah, there's still it's still going on, but you know there are good companies that will hire anyone. It doesn't matter what race or creed you or what race you are, or creed or orientation. They'll hire you as long as you know what you know and you're good at it. They'll hire you. They'll invest in you. Um, I've worked with guys from the street, from the hood, and their excuse is always this: oh, this company's racist. Oh, they don't want to pay me enough. Oh, because I came straight out of school, I should get paid more. Listen, those of you who have gone through the trade school system like I did, and trust me, I've even sat at the end of my course, at the end of my time in a classroom, my last day, and sat between guys who are from like Brooklyn and the Bronx and whatever, and they had this mentality like, oh, when I get out of here, they better pay me 20 an hour. Well, they look at me and ask me, oh, you've done HVAC, didn't they pay you good money? And I tell them, I said, listen, I tell them, I always tell them the truth. Like, listen, you can't assume you're gonna make the money. You can't assume that when I started at eight, what was it, 8.50 an hour, doing HVAC work, like as an apprentice or helper. You know, in the electrical trade, it's the same way. They're going to pay you the minimum because even if you came from school, came out of school, the trade school doesn't teach you everything entirely of electrical. They're going to teach you the basics. They're going to teach you hands-on basic stuff. They're not going to teach you every single aspect. They're going to teach you load calculations. They're going to teach you theory. They're going to teach you hands-on, but you're going to come out with more knowledge, which is true, more knowledge than a helper does, because a helper will come off the street, work for a company, have no idea what a heck a Romex connector is, or what is what is 12.2 or 12.3. You will, but they won't. But it doesn't mean you demand $20 an hour, because your boss is going to look at you and say, yeah, that's not happening, So I sat with guys like that who just assumed, yeah, I got all this patterned down. But I told them, in reality, when you get out of school, in the real world, it's totally different. And they looked at me like I didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, take it from me. I would tell them, take it from me, bro. I came out of a different trade. It's going to be the same. It doesn't matter which trade you come out of from school. It's the same concept, same aspect. In the real world, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, you don't know jack squat about this trade, which is so true. They may ask you how much you know about electrical. And I hear guys say, oh, I know this, I know that, I know everything. But when they put you in the field, because you just faked it in your interview, if you manage to somehow get $20 an hour, and it's your first year, and you can't count school as your first year. To be honest, it's not. They're not going to count that as first. That's school. You put you in the field, and you done in your first year of doing electrical work, your first week. If you start screwing up, they put you on conduit bending. They say, yeah, bend this 3/4 conduit. You got to run all these. They give you a whole diagram, say this is where we want to run. And you can't do certain bends because you weren't good at maybe 3-point saddles and so forth, and you start making all these crooked bends, dude, you're done. They're going to know right away you're green, and they're going to drop your pay. All right? So don't be so prideful coming out of school thinking you know everything. All right? I hate, honestly, I hate that. I really do. And it's a shame. It's really a shame. Be honest. In the real world, it's totally different than in school. In school, they're just kind of preparing you the basics to what to know when you show up on a job site, what to look for as well. But in reality, you got to keep your mouth shut, listen to your foreman, a journeyman, or a mechanic, and watch what they do as they say, not as they do. And if they start trusting you to do the work, and which they will, you'll have a mechanic or a journeyman show you how to do things the right way. Yeah, you're gonna learn something, and you're gonna get good at it. You're gonna learn how to do electrical really well. Okay, take it from me. All right, I came a long way. 8 years. Technically, they say 8 years old, and the 8 years in the union, you're a M1. Okay, 7 years or so, you're a 7th year apprentice. True. In the union, it's different. If you join a union, you're going to go back to school. Even if you came out of trade school, they're going to send you to school. Okay, it's basically the same stuff you learned in school, but you're getting paid while going to school as well. It's only twice a week. You're going to have knowledge. They're going to put you on these refresher courses for yourself. Oh, hey ma, hey, my mom's on. So came a long way. That's right, I did come a long way. And look at that. Look who showed up in the chat. My old journeyman, Jose Morales. What's up, Hector? What's up, brother? What's going on, bro? So, as I was saying, don't be cocky. Don't think you know it all, because you don't. Especially like the apprentices and helpers in the HVAC department. Trust me, My journeyman's right here. Jose Morales, he showed me. I worked with the guy. He was awesome. He showed me things I didn't even know about HVAC, even when I was in school. So, and I hustled. I worked, you know. And here's the thing: if you're even in the HVAC, don't and you're paired up with a journeyman, and he says, "Hey, listen, I got to go to the van and get something and look for it, whatever." Um, don't stand there on your phone texting. Wait, do something constructive. You know, make yourself busy. Maybe clean up the area he's working in, or go inside where the condenser unit or the indoor unit, the indoor blower. You know, especially if it's commercial, if you have access to where the filters are, take out the filters and maybe clean them out. Dust them off a little bit, dust off the coils, straighten out the coil fin. That's what I did, and he would tell you in the chat. He'll step out, he'll come back, he'll see me straightening out the coils, he'll see me brushing off, or I'll tell him, hey, look, these filters they're dirty, you gotta get replaced. I kept myself busy while he's gone looking for something in the van. So especially when it comes to electrical, don't sit around on your phone just because you're handing tools to the mechanic. Don't be on your phone handing tools. Stay focused. Listen to what he's going to say. He's going to point out things to his foreman and say, hey, this guy's on his phone when I'm working. He's not working with me. He's not listening to me. Don't stick out like a sore thumb. Make yourself available to your mechanic and foreman, okay? Be on time for work too. I'm an early bird. I usually show up in the job site an hour early. I've been sticking with that ever since. I hate being late on a job. So, but anyways, guys, the time is running low. I know I dragged on with this conversation. Never got to do any questions or answers, but there's not a lot of people in the chat, but that's okay. On our way to your place. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna have visitations. No, I'm saying, what am I saying? I'm having my mom's visiting. You are a great apprentice, says Jose. Look at you now. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. My man over here, Jose Morales, I gotta tell you, he's awesome HVAC mechanic and journeyman. He's been doing this for years, longer than I have. And I gotta say, he was the last journeyman, the best journeyman I had in the HVAC industry that I worked under. And I gotta say, I had a great time and I learned a lot. Okay. Even when I'm doing installs today, I call him and say, hey, let me get I need a little help here and there. And he'll help me. Thanks for the Christmas gift. Wow, bro, that was years ago. That was like, what was that? Was it 2012? That I got you that bender? The copper tube bender? Wow, that was a long time ago, man. A long time ago. Codeman says, I'm here. Here listening to you. Wait, I'm here. You listen to me. It's about me, and it's always about me. Thank you for teaching my son. God bless you. Oh, look at that. My mom even said, thank you, Jose. Hector. I gotta tell you, you gotta. You see what I mean? Like my old journeyman is even on the chat. I still keep in contact. I keep in contact with him. I keep in contact with my electrical journeyman as well. As much as I try to. I keep him on social media and stuff, and he watches the channel from time to time as well. And if you have a great relationship with your journeyman, keep it that way, because if you ever need advice, if you're running a business, or maybe you're on the field on your own and you come across a problem you can't figure out, you can always call them up and say, hey, I'm stuck here, I need a little help. What do I do? Do that. Always keep in contact with your good journeymen or mechanics, because they're the ones that will shape. Never forget it either. They're the ones that shape your future. They're the ones that are your teachers. They will make you who you are, So, and that's it. So hopefully, this advice, whatever I said, helps out. Like I said, those of you who are very prideful, apprentices, helpers, don't put that to the side and sit and not sit down, but open your ears, open your eyes, and learn from the guys in the trade who are in the field. And trust me, the years are going to go by so quick. You're going to gain so much knowledge that if sooner or later, like 3 years, I guarantee within 3 years time, you're going to be doing jobs on your own without someone supervising you because they trust you doing it. Okay, you've gained enough experience at least. The first year is going to be the toughest. It was tough for me. It's going to be tough for you. It's always going to be tough for you because you're basically like a shoe being worn in. Okay, so take my advice, put the pride and know it all, aspect and whatever to the side, and just keep put a blank slate and start learning from, start paying attention, work your way from the bottom of the ladder up. Okay, and stop having all these high expectations. Okay, the money part within your first year, I mean, I worried about money, but then afterwards I said, you know what, I'm just going to focus on getting the experience. The first year, don't worry about money. Don't worry about the money. That comes in after. Get the experience, get the knowledge, get all you can out of your first year. Okay? Take care, guys. I got to get going. I've been over an hour already, but before I go, make sure if you need any electrical work done, anyone out there, homeowners, other contractors who may be looking for subcontracting, business, you're opening up a new office building, please check out Leader Electric. For services, call 212-665-0600, or if you got renovation or any big jobs you want us to do, we do them. It's call contracts at 212-665-0606. We're located in the heart of Manhattan, or you can contact us at contact@leaderelectric.net and visit the website at www.leaderelectric.net. For all your electrical needs, call and contact Leader Electric. All right, so thanks for watching. All right, guys, this is Jonathan saying thanks for watching. Always remember, wear your personal protective equipment, watch each other's back, help one another out, and I'll see you guys next time. So take care, relax, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and because tomorrow's Monday, new work week, it's gonna go by fast. It always does. All right. So,
I think your mom is here.
I think she is.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Peace out, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Oh, before I go, let me read. Conman says, so who do you keep in the bathroom? The questions we like to know. You guys see the bathroom door open? Nobody stays, like, we use the bathroom, and no one stays in there. Don Shop says, Circuit Finder, does it work if the line is dead? No. It has to be live. Now, quick advice. If you want to find a circuit while it's dead, get yourself a probe testing kit. Or we call it a toner kit. Trust me, it works wonders. Even if the line is dead, you can still find the circuit. So, see you in 5 minutes, says Mom. All right, we'll see you in 5, Ma. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, or enjoy the rest of your weekend. Later.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.